welcome to the Boca Raton Resort and Beach Club, where we are celebrating the people and productions that exemplify the leading edge in multicultural marketing and communications. This is the 2014 Diversity Achievement and Mosaic Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President and CEO of the American Advertising Federation, James Edmund Daytree.
Everybody, good evening, good evening. Wow, America's here in Boca. Welcome, and welcome to this celebration of diversity and inclusion, the Diversity Achievement and Mosaic Awards. The creativity and commitment that'll be displayed on this stage tonight is going to amaze and inspire you. That's how I feel when I see the ideas and themes our colleagues have created to advance one of the core missions of the American Advertising Federation, multiculturalism. This is the first year we're hosting our celebration in conjunction with Admerica, and we're thrilled to bring this celebration right here to the center stage. And as always, we offer special thanks. Yeah, that is worthy of applause. And we offer very special thanks to our sponsors for their support and participation. They are our gold sponsors, and this is quite a great list: Deutsch, McDonald's, and Omnicom Group. Our silver sponsors, Johnson & Johnson and McCann World Group. Our bronze sponsors, BBDO, BET Networks, CNN, the Coca-Cola Company, GSD&M, the Interpublic Group, Leo Burnett, and Team Ignition. And our crystal sponsors, AAF's District 2, Burrell Communications, DDB, Digitas LBI, Miller Coors, Ogilvy and Mather, the Omnicom Media Group, Publicis Group, Saatchi & Saatchi, Squeaky Wheel Media, and WPP. A big round of applause for all of them. And now let's take a quick look at the people and signature brands of AAF's Mosaic Center. Let's play the video, please.
Camp is a week-long session where students learn about the fundamentals of advertising.
It's an exciting opportunity to see amazing young people, students, really just harnessing their genius.
I wanted to see what I could do with my creative side, so I thought advertising would be interesting to look into, and so far I really liked it.
Thank you, sponsors. Thank you, everyone else that helped contribute and allow me to come to AD.
I believe historically, without programs like this one, diversity in advertising would not even be close to where it is today.
What I love so much about the program is I'll meet students from schools that I won't necessarily usually recruit from, because usually we try and go to schools that have like a big copywriting program, a big design program. You know, I'll meet students from small schools that don't necessarily have that, but they're amazing students, so I never would have met them if I didn't meet them through this program.
Diversity, in my opinion, is incredibly important because it creates a more supportive and productive workforce.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the Chief Operating Officer of the American Advertising Federation, Constance Cannon Frazier, and the Chair of the AAF Mosaic Council and Group Director of Account Planning for Razorfish, Kendra Hatcher King.
These programs, Ad Camp, Mosaic Career Fairs, Mosaic Vendor Fairs, the Most Promising Minority Students Program, and the Diversity Achievement and Mosaic Awards are the foundation of the AAF's efforts to fulfill and expand the scope and mission of the Mosaic Center. I want to thank all of these great organizations for their support of our Mosaic initiatives over the years. And I'd like to encourage all of you to bring colleagues with you to our diversity events, especially if they've never attended one. It will give them a new perspective.
That's so true, Connie. As chair of the Mosaic Council, I lead a group of industry leaders from national advertisers, general market, and multicultural agencies, media organizations, and suppliers. We are essentially the industry's premier think tank on diversity and inclusion. Our goals include greater workplace diversity, expanded opportunities for minority suppliers, promoting the importance of multicultural markets, and preparing future leaders who recognize the social and economic importance of a diversified workforce and multicultural marketing. That's why the programs highlighted in the video are so inspiring. They are helping us to attain our goals every year, and I am honored to serve alongside peers with such a commitment. If there are any members of the Mosaic Council Executive Committee attending, please stand and accept our humble thanks.
This evening is the result of making diversity and inclusion a priority for more than 20 years. And as the recent controversy in the NBA has shown, our work is not over. But the decisive action taken highlights the value of diversity and demonstrates our bottom line. Racist words and actions will not be tolerated. Basic respect for all people should be the minimum requirement of our humanity. Many walls have fallen. Many walls have fallen, many barriers pushed aside, and although there is still more to be done, we thank you for helping us keep the best practices at the forefront.
After much internal reflection, it was agreed that if AAF is to continue its role as a champion of multiculturalism, our annual national conference must have a stronger diversity and inclusion presence. So here we are, the diversity, yay! We made it to Boca. So here we are, the Diversity Achievement and Mosaic Awards, enjoying the spotlight with other AAF signature programs, such as the American Advertising Awards, formerly known as the Addies, and the National Student Advertising Competition. All this during AdMerica, the AAF's annual national conference.
That's right, Kendra. Hosting DAMA during AdMerica is important symbolically and strategically because it keeps diversity and inclusion in the forefront and hopefully will broaden the base of believers in this mission so important to our entire industry. The AAF is the unifying voice for advertising and believes in recognizing and honoring work that illustrates best practices, vision in multicultural marketing, workforce development, and supplier diversity.
And this is done in a variety of formats and with a variety of people. Now it's time to present the Mosaic Awards. The Multicultural Advertising Campaign recognizes a series of 3 or more related campaign media mixes that demonstrates understanding and sensitivity of targeted ethnic audiences and their buying practices and behavior. This can include any of the listed media in the campaign. So it can be broadcast, online, radio, print, mobile, streaming, outdoor, and apps, ads on apps.
Despite the rising population of Hispanics in the last decade, the NBA had seen a decline in their Hispanic fan base. The league identified the need for tailored marketing efforts to re-energize fans. In 2013, the Noche Latina Auténtico campaign focused on fan engagement and participation. Thanks to a bicultural focus, the client sent an emotional and personal message that allowed consumers to connect with the brand. An expanded and precise audience was reached by delivering in both English and Spanish. The result, market share increase of 16% in 1 month, FanBook fans increased by 2,000, and Twitter by more than 7,000. Let's take a look at the video.
In 2006, the NBA launched Noche Latina, a program under the NBA platform that demonstrates the NBA's appreciation of the support of Latino fans. While the program has generated awareness and brought attention to the culture, in 2012, the brand wanted to build a genuine connection with its core audience. A new generation of U.S.-born Hispanics that embraces with confidence its 2 cultures, American and Hispanic. But when it comes to connecting with Latinos, we still continue seeing this, and this. The communication in the marketplace has traditionally focused too much on stereotypical insights that keeps them away from being represented or feeling related, generating rejection and a sense of misunderstanding. We took the stereotypical labels frequently placed on Latinos and reframed them, giving them a more authentic and bicultural context. The campaign Authentic dimensionalizes the complexity of biculturals, presenting relevant and authentic experiences that define them and inspire them to express pride in their identity and their passion for basketball and the NBA. They are proud to be Latino, but they also identify with being American. They speak Spanish, but their accent is from the U.S. They enjoy football, the one you play with your feet, but they live for basketball. Hispanic viewership grew 5% from March 2012 to March 2013. Overall page views on NBA.com went up 55% in March 2013 versus March 2012. Facebook fans increased by 34%. Twitter fans by more than 87%. Hashtag NBA reached #1 on trending topics, beating out MLB's opening day. And Noche Latina sales in 2013 were up 56% versus 2012.
So this winning entry spoke well to a bicultural group and captured who they are and how they want to be seen, all in the context of a 360-degree campaign. The recipient of this year's multicultural campaign, the client is the NBA and the agency is Bromley. Accepting the award is the Vice President for Multicultural and Global Marketing for the NBA, Saskia Sarosa.
It is an honor to be here today with the Bromley team and with all of you to accept this prestigious award. It's been a long journey for the MBA, one that has been challenging at times, but incredibly rewarding. We have really evolved as an organization over the years, and we have become more than a professional sports league. We are a brand that cares deeply about its family, especially its fans. We have built diversity into our DNA, bringing people from all racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic backgrounds together through their common love of the game. We celebrate diversity every day, and we listen. We listen to the world outside our own to make ourselves better every day and make fans feel welcome every step of the way. This award represents an industry recognition that reminds us why we do what we do. It encourages us to continue trailblazing in an ever-changing landscape, to connect with the world in a meaningful way, because it matters. Thank you to the AAF for recognizing our work and selecting it from a group of stellar submissions. We are truly honored. Thank you.
Multicultural traditional media usage recognizes the targeting and usage of specific multicultural media outlets, TV, radio, or print, to convey ad campaign messages specifically to multi-ethnic markets.
Lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender, also known as LGBT. LGBT rights in the U.S. have evolved over time and vary greatly state to state. All state follows state laws regarding same-sex marriages and recognizes civil unions and domestic partnerships in states where same-sex marriages are legal. In 2013, Allstate launched Out Holding Hands, which advocates for the right of all to express love wherever they are. It was reportedly the first campaign by a national brand to support LGBT couples' rights to display affection in public by holding hands. Please watch the video clip to appreciate the impact.
Holding hands. It's the most basic form of human affection. It's a gesture that says, we're connected, we belong together, we are a couple. But for LGBT people, this innocent romantic gesture means publicly outing themselves at every turn, and that can be frightening.
Holding hands, sharing a couple of kisses, when they say the security guard came up to them and asked them to leave.
Allstate believes that everyone deserves to be treated with respect and without judgment. So we developed a campaign that celebrates everyone's right to show affection, no matter who they are. It started with print ads in national gay and lesbian publications, banner ads on LGBT-targeted websites, and street-level out-of-home and LGBT communities, all driving to a website with insurance tips relevant for the community and an easy way to find a local Allstate agent. But when the ads started appearing in general market publications, that's when people, both straight and gay, really started to take notice. People posted photos on social media sites, and word of Allstate's support for the LGBT community spread. Recently, when same-sex marriage started in Chicago, we ran an ad in the newspaper celebrating the occasion. But we've only just begun. We believe everyone deserves to feel comfortable showing affection out in public. Because everyone deserves to be in good hands.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bold campaign paid off nicely. The agency found a way to relate to the audience, brilliantly weaving hand-holding and the client's well-known tagline. The recipient of this year's multicultural traditional media usage, the client, Allstate, the agency, Leo Burnett. Accepting the award, the Senior Vice President and Creative Director for Leo Burnett, Christopher Wamanen.
Thank you so much to the AAF and the Mosaic Awards for this amazing honor. I'm here to accept on behalf of everyone who's had a hand in this campaign, and that's a lot of people, both at Leo Burnett and at Allstate. A particular shout out to those on my team here today, Ed, Todd, Daphne, and Amrita. I know how much work we put into this, and this is for all of us. And really, this kind of work isn't possible without a really trusted and a partner at our clients that are willing to try things and take risks and do things that an insurance company wouldn't usually do. So we're really happy to work with our amazing clients at Allstate. You may be surprised to hear that Allstate has actually been advertising to the LGBT population in California since 2006. But the Out Holding Hands campaign is the first time that we advertise nationally in LGBT publications. And as you saw in the video, we were pleasantly surprised by the outpouring of support we got when our print ads also ran in general market publications like the Chicago Red-Eye newspaper. So, this is what we learned. While we thought we were targeting the right audience, it turned out that to really get noticed, our insurance advertising had to come out of the closet itself. It was about time. So I've had the pleasure of working on Allstate LGBT campaigns for Allstate at Leo Burnett since 2008, but it's been especially gratifying to be part of the LGBT conversation this last year and with so much positive social change. Everything from landmark Supreme Court decisions last June to state after state legalizing same-sex marriage, including my home state of Illinois. Finally, things are changing for good. So here's hoping that one day everyone can feel safe out holding hands with their loved ones, whoever they are, wherever they are. Thank you again for this fabulous honor.
Multicultural digital media usage recognizes companies and organizations that have actively participated in online or digital marketing. The winner of this category displays a concerted effort to utilize digital media targeted toward multicultural markets.
When General Mills introduced 2 new rainbow marshmallows to its iconic Lucky Charms cereal, the goal was to celebrate equality. With Pride Month approaching, it was a great time to show support for the LGBT community. The hashtag #LuckyToBe campaign appealed to millennials and adults through social media and positive press to drive engagement and initiate participation. And here's what's happened. More than 3 million hits of the hashtag #LuckyToBe on Tumblr, more than 2 million impressions on Facebook, and more than 30,000 likes, more than 1,000 tweets, and 180 Instagrams. Let's watch the video clip.
This is the story of a tiny marshmallow that became a big symbol. When Lucky Charms introduced 2 new colorful rainbows, we decided to celebrate something even sweeter. So during Pride Month in June, we launched Lucky to Be, a social good campaign celebrating the beautiful ones, the colorful ones, the lucky ones. We asked a simple question: what are you lucky to be? And powered the conversation with a simple, flexible hashtag. We built a Tumblr to collect real-time responses from around the web, integrating Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Then we unleashed the triple rainbow into the world and asked illustrators, artists, and fans to create rainbow art and spread the love. Within days, the celebration swept across the web as people tweeted, tumbled, Facebooked, and Instagrammed everything they were lucky to be. Then we took the party offline and hit the streets of Minneapolis for a Pride Parade party and Rainbow Run event. It wasn't long before the media noticed everyone was feeling lucky. In just 2 weeks, the campaign generated 100 million earned media impressions across 50 media channels, 3 million hits of the Lucky to Be Tumblr, and 2 million social media impressions on Facebook. And we had something even bigger to feel lucky about: great timing on an important and historic Supreme Court decision. Yep, sometimes big change can come from small things. This is the story of a tiny marshmallow that became a big symbol. And our story is just beginning.
This winning campaign created a full experience across digital platforms, engaged consumers, and successfully earned their participation in establishing two-way communication. The recipient of this year's Multicultural Digital Advertising Campaign is General Mills, and the agency, McCann, New York. Accepting the award is Sally Mars, Chief Diversity Officer of McCann World Group.
Staying loose today. I brought our client with me, which I thought was an excellent idea. This is Carla Vernon from General Mills, and we're accepting the award together on behalf of both our companies who are in a long-term partnership. So I want to thank everybody and just say that the team at McCann, the Always On team, took great pride in this. It was something very special for them. And we had a great partner in General Mills who supported us every step of the way and just said, go, go, go. And we came up with a thought-provoking and inspiring campaign. So sometimes something as small as a marshmallow can really make a big impact.
Thank you so much. What a pleasure. I think our being up here together just is such a symbol of what a strong partnership we've had with the team since the very beginning. The Lucky Charms team and the cereal team could never have done this without the real believers from the McCann Always On team. At General Mills, we believe in leprechauns who never stop chasing after something that's so magnificent that they never would let a barrier get in their way. We believe in cuckoo birds that are crazy, and we believe in rabbits that never stop trying. And so that's why it's really important for us to join together with a team like McCann Always On to really keep pushing for the things that we all believe are special and magical and make this world so much more wonderful for everybody. Thank you.
Multicultural talent in advertising recognizes companies that demonstrate a strong effort to use multi-ethnic talent, actors, models, musicians, artists, and writers in their advertising campaigns.
With the Make Love campaign, Gap returned the holiday season back to its essence, to love. The campaign was meant to help us recognize that we are at our collective best when we choose to contribute love to the world and inspire the global community to do the same. A dynamic cast of various ages, genders, popularity, and ethnicity reinforced Gap's commitment to diversity. The results were a significant increase across social channels, more than 20,000 PR article shares, and coverage on global media outlets. A Thank You Gap fan page appeared showing support for the skate community with more than 2,000 fans after a poster was found covered with racist graffiti. Take a look at this clip.
For Holiday 2013, Gap wanted to strip the holiday season back to its essence, to love, recognizing we are at our collective best when we give more than we take. Simply put, make love. The idea started with the casting strategy. Q-Tip and Harry. Together, they make peace through their support of the anti-violence movement. Warris and Quentin. These two artists have given the world a new perspective on the creative process, friendship, and the cultures we come from. Cindy and Billy. They remind us that acceptance is one of the best kinds of love through their work on the Tony Award-winning musical, Kinky Boots. In print and out of home, we displayed our intimate portraits. We also featured Tony Bennett and his work of strengthening arts education to benefit the lives of students.
Wait till you see that sunshine day. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Still, it's a real good bet. The best is yet to come.
The campaign garnered over 17,000 social mentions. PR received global coverage and over 20,000 article shares. Overall positive sentiment increased 30% compared to the 2013 quarterly average. But something happened along the way we could never have planned for, confirming our initial sense of urgency in creating a campaign around spreading love.
This is what the ad looked like before it was vandalized. So you post the vandalized version on your Twitter account, and then it goes viral.
I saw the racist graffiti saying "make bombs," alluding to the Taliban.
To show solidarity for diversity inclusion, Gap changed its Twitter background to the picture of the original ad.
With tweets in the tens of thousands and Facebook pages created thanking Gap for their swift response, the reaction and support from the international community was truly overwhelming. The chairman of the U.S. Commission of Civil Rights even sent Gap a letter of commendation for their response. It was one of those rare moments where a campaign truly comes to life. You can choose to make hate, or you can choose to make love.
This entry is heroic. Not only did the agency create a campaign that pushed boundaries on talent, but the client stood behind the talent when controversy arose. The recipient of this year's Multicultural Talent in Advertising, the client, Gap, Inc., agency, Peterson Miller Hooks. Accepting the award, the president of Peterson Miller Hooks, Thomas Nowak.
Hi, everyone. I'm proud to accept this award on behalf of GAP and PMH. The Make Love campaign, it really connects all the way back to GAP's co-founders, Don and Doris Fisher. And a few years after they started the company, Don and Doris were asked about their vision for the GAP. And they said, kind of famously, we want to do more than just sell pants. Now, they wanted to sell hoodies and T-shirts and socks and all that stuff, but that's not what they meant. When they said we want to do more than just sell pants, they wanted to be able to use GAP's influence to make a positive impact in the world. And that's what Make Love is all about. It's celebrating the people who are making a difference in the world through their art and through their actions. Cyndi Lauper and Billy Porter teaching us about acceptance. Harry Belafonte and Q-Tip and their anti-violence efforts. Tony Bennett, the guy built an entire high school for the arts in the Bronx, which nobody knows. Incredible stuff. These are the people who are starting conversations. These are the people who are raising awareness. And these are the people who are putting more love into the world. And we are all the better for it. You saw in the video the controversy around Warris. And we never set out to stir up any kind of controversy around Warris Alawalu. We cast Warris because we think Warris is super cool. And that's all it was. But I'm incredibly grateful to the moron who vandalized that ad because it gave Gap an incredibly public platform to stand up against hate. And they got such amazing feedback, and I'm so proud that people came to their defense when they did the right thing. It's nice when you can use beautiful images to stamp out some of the ugly in the world. And I know that Doris Fisher was very proud. Diversity has been a hallmark of the Gap brand for 45 years. Gap is a democratic brand at its heart, and we're honored and humbled by this recognition. Thank you very much.
The Workforce Inclusion category recognizes companies that demonstrate a strong effort to recruit, retain, and promote individuals from various ethnic and cultural backgrounds. They also develop programs that enhance employee sensitivity, knowledge, and understanding of the various ethnicities and cultures within the corporate environment.
MGM Resorts International debuted Inspiring Our World, an innovative musical production created by its employees and performed by an all-employee cast of 70 to educate the company's diverse 62,000 employees about the company's mission, its core values, and its commitment to leadership in diversity, philanthropy, and environmental sustainability. The 90-minute production features original music, world-class theatrics, exotic costumes, and dynamic choreography spanning multiple cultures. The production experience utilizes the rich creative arts talent of the company employees and was originally performed in English, Spanish, and American Sign Language, and digitally represented in 14 languages. Inspiring Our World encourages employees to make commitments to their families, the community, and the company. Let's take a look at the video clip.
How lucky are we to work for a great company, to work with great people, to be connected to each other, and it doesn't really get much better than that.
We long ago became the best in gaming, but that's not good enough. I want to be the best company in America for diversity and inclusion. It's the right thing to do, and I believe that our employees deserve it.
The cast themselves believe in this so much. I'm just so thrilled to be a part of it.
They picked 5 of us to do a testimonial, and I'm one of them. I am doing a testimonial for the LGBT.
I finally told my family and friends who I really was.
We inspire our world through our giving programs, through our green initiative called Green Advantage.
Green Advantage, we should all be trying it. Understand the impact of the environment. Taking care of our world, we can't forget that. And do what we can do to reduce the impact.
My observation is that employee engagement is a two-way street. If an organization, a company like, say, MGM Resorts, wants employees to be engaged, then it has to be first engaged.
We recycle food. Yes, food.
Well, we hope that actually with this show, they will actually be able to go out and do their job better, and not just their job, but actually with their life, their everyday life.
This year's winner exemplifies complete commitment and demonstrates that workforce inclusion must be embraced internally to resonate externally. The recipient of this year's Workforce Inclusion Award is MGM Resorts International for Inspiring Our World. Accepting the award, Executive Director of Diversity and Inclusion for MGM Resorts International, Pat Coley.
Well, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? On behalf of MGM Resorts International, we're honored here to accept the Mosaic Award for Workforce Inclusion. I'm joined here tonight by our co-directors who are sitting in the audience, and quite frankly, without them, this show would have never have happened. I got this wild idea one day that we should put on a diversity show. And so I went to 2 of my friends and I said, hey, what if we put on a diversity show? And they said, okay, let's do it. And so I want to thank Barry Morgan, who's a director of entertainment for MGM Resorts, and Miss Betty Gaines Snyder, who is an executive director of special events at MGM Grand Las Vegas, for everything they did for this journey. We'd also like to thank the American Advertising Federation for recognizing this unique event that touched the hearts and minds of many. At MGM Resorts International, we pride ourselves as leaders of diversity and inclusion. As well, we're leaders in the entertainment industry. So when we were brainstorming ways to unite our 62,000 employees who work in 3 different states, under one company culture, we knew we had to do it big. We knew we had to create an innovative concept that would highlight our messages of diversity and inclusion, community engagement, sustainability, and our company's mission, vision, and values. This concept had to engage, entertain, and inspire all of our employees, from our top executives to our frontline employees. And so how does a Las Vegas-based company reach an audience of 62,000 employees? By placing its messages center stage. And not just any stage, they gave us the arena at the Mandalay Bay Event Center, right on the Las Vegas Strip. These guys lost their minds. Couldn't believe they said that they would do that, but they did. So Inspiring Our World, it was performed in the arena over 3 days at Mandalay Bay. We had 900 employee volunteers just for the logistics alone, busing all of our employees, there's a mic right there, busing all of our employees from 12 different properties along the Las Vegas Strip. This 90-minute production also became a labor of love. It was created for our employees, by our employees. From the scripts, to the songs, to the costumes, to the choreography, everything was created in-house. Even our original cast, which you saw up on the screen, was comprised of 70 talented individuals. We just held auditions, and these people showed up. Can you sing? Yes. Can you dance? Yes. You're hired. And we put them in a show. We're proud to work for a company like MGM Resorts that believes in inclusion, and we're proud to receive this honor. And so thank you. Thank you, everybody.
The Multicultural Students Program recognizes companies and organizations for their development, execution, and management of programs designed to increase student diversity and awareness of all career opportunities within the advertising industry.
The Starcom MediaVest Group Future Leaders Program is a 2-day intense look at media career opportunities at Starcom MediaVest Group, designed primarily for minority students in their final year of college. Students interact with key SMG team members in New York or Chicago, as well as experience real projects and professional scenarios during the workshop to help them determine if a role in the industry aligns with their skills and interests. The activities conclude with interviews and potential for an offer to join SMG upon graduation, and the results have been impressive at the time the entry was received. Of the 56 who completed the program from 2009 to 2013, 29 students, and said this is just like a media agency, 52% received and accepted full-time offers to join SMG. Of the 29 who joined, it gets more impressive than that. Of the 29 who joined, 80% are still with SMG today. And of those, 25% have been promoted since they joined. Let's watch the video clip.
The Future Leaders Program means opportunity.
Something really unique, and it's a really different opportunity that many agencies don't really have of a program of this caliber.
It was the opportunity of a lifetime, it really was, because I knew that SMG was where I wanted to be.
Being a part of the Future Leaders gave me the opportunity to, one, learn about an industry, and I've been here for almost 3 years.
And seeing the big impact that it has on brands. So seeing that happen makes you want to be part of it. So it was a great experience.
Before the Future Leaders, I was just in school and I had no idea where I would end up.
SMG stands out as a company because it shows that they're invested in their people and they want to try to bring diversity into the company.
I thought about SMG as the place where you want to get to, but somehow through some turn of events, it's where I'm starting out.
It's been an awesome experience just to see the different participants actually become hires like me and work on clients and kind of really make an impact on the client's plans.
It was a pretty intense session in terms of their involvement, the kind of questions they asked, and the kind of involvement they had in the entire program and what they got from it.
So the Future Leader Program, I feel like it really sort of is a community for me.
I was able to know people who could help me find my way somehow.
I still keep in contact with those people.
Just being able to make those face-to-face connections and really realizing the importance within a job search as a student.
We may be on different brands, we may be in different buildings, and yet we share this together.
I really had a great time getting to know the culture of the company and what it stands for, and seeing how I can visualize myself within the company in the future.
Ladies and gentlemen, our winning entry highlights a program that made sense for the organization while allowing students to be completely immersed in the agency world. The recipient of this year's Multicultural Students Program, Starcom MediaVest Group, for its SMG Future Leaders Program. Accepting this award, Senior Vice President and Communications Planning Director for Multicultural for Starcom MediaVest Group, Elena Figueroa.
You know, there's a sign here that says don't touch the microphone. Okay. I'm the daughter of Cuban immigrants, and as you can imagine, I never said I want to be in media. That's just not one of the things that you know about when you're studying and when you're aspiring to a college degree for the first time in your family, and then for your first job and your career. So I get it. I get why this program is necessary. We got to teach them. First of all, let me thank the AAF for even having this category and for this honor. The SMG Future Leaders Program started in 2009 because we had a great recruiting program, but we realized that we needed to find really great seniors who didn't know about media. And we needed to teach them what a media career could be and what it could look like if they joined SMG. So it's a 2-day program, and it serves to teach them about the media industry, give them a more in-depth understanding of what their typical day, what their career path could be, what it could evolve to, and if they joined SMG. In the inaugural year, the Future Leaders Program in 2009, we selected 8 students to participate. We've grown the program each year since then, up to 12 participants each year from 2010 to 2013 in Chicago. We then offered our inaugural New York Future Leaders Program in 2014. And in doing that, we increased the number of participants to 18. A little more numbers, since its inception, 73 students have participated in the program. Over half of those participants have received and accepted those full-time offers. That's the 52%. Of those who have joined, 80% are still with the company. I've been with the company 23 years. We treat them well. And of those individuals, a quarter of them have been promoted since they joined. Nearly 70% of the students hired in the Future Leader programs are ethnic minorities. We are very proud of our agency's leadership, ongoing commitment to fostering diversity and inclusion. The SMG Future Leaders Program is just one tangible example of this commitment. I want to thank the AAF for recognizing SMG and for putting the spotlight on all these exceptional initiatives, including the Future Leaders Program, that drive diversity and inclusion in the advertising industry and in media. Thank you.
We are delighted to present a special award this year to colleagues who work in concert with the AAF to ensure that our industry reflects multicultural marketing and an inclusive workforce. I speak of the American Association of Advertising Agencies, the 4A's.
The 4A's Multicultural Advertising Intern Program, known as MAPE, connects aspiring diverse entry-level advertising professionals with leading advertising agencies across America. Since its founding in 1973, more than 2,500 multicultural students have received unique, paid, full-time, 10-week internship. MAPE combines real-world work experience and networking to help interns leverage this summer experience into professional opportunities. The success of the program is reflected in the following statistics. MAPE has been an industry resource for diverse talent for more than 40 years. In 2013, 90% of eligible alumni were hired. More than 70 host agencies in 16 cities with 128 mentors and more than 40 recruiters participated in 2013. Please watch the video clip about this historic program.
MAPE really pushed me to my potential, and that's because it's the meeting of two of the best worlds. It's the best employers meeting the best students.
The impact on the industry has been really about identifying talent.
We want people to feel empowered and have the belief that anything's possible for them.
It gives them firsthand knowledge, firsthand experience, and firsthand exposure to what we do every day to service our clients.
I believe that the best and the brightest participate in this program, graduate, and then go on to continue to mentor others.
Well, if there was no MAPE, there'd probably be no advertising career for Marcus Rashawn. MAPE really gave me the opportunity to not only have a safe space where I could learn, get accepted, and have people learn who I was, but more importantly, build the confidence I needed, I think, to achieve what you need to achieve in the world of advertising.
But the introduction to this industry afforded by this program, for me, meant there was no turning back. It was an introduction to both peers and mentors that will continue to shape me even to this day.
I was a MAPE intern 20 years ago, and I would not be here but for MAPE.
If I could identify one thing that I garnered from my MAPE experience, it would be that it credentialed me.
MAPE has done everything for my career. It served as my foundation. Without MAPE, I literally wouldn't be here.
All these opportunities that MAPE has provided for us definitely is going to help accelerate me in the industry.
Just provided me with an opportunity to really be who I am, regardless of my skin color.
We want to help our industry by putting this great group of young people in front of them so that they can be proud of what they've done as an industry, because this industry carries this program.
MAPE, you start to get people from everywhere, which is wonderful because it adds to the creative pool.
It makes me really optimistic about the future of advertising, knowing that such intelligent, hardworking, committed people are entering the industry in such large numbers.
MAPE is where it is. MAPE it happens.
Let's welcome the, I'm sorry. I'm just excited. Let's welcome the 4A's winner of the MAPE Award. Accepting the award, the Manager of Diversity and Inclusion for the 4A's, Carl Desir.
First, let me start by thanking the AAF for all that they've done to take the diversity conversation and turn that into so much action. It's just truly remarkable what they've been able to do. It is a great honor to accept the first ever DAMA Change Agent Award on behalf of MAPE. And when you really look back at all the change MAPE has been the catalyst for during its 40-plus year history, it's truly remarkable and inspiring. MAPE has jump-started the careers of over 2,500 diverse young professionals. Over 80 agencies across the country partner with MAPE every summer, some for more than 35 years, to host, develop, and hire the interns. 90% of that 2013 class, which is, that class is over 100 people, are now employed. And that's kind of a number that most universities these days would envy. The interns, and welcome them into our industry at the face of talent. With so many MAPE alumni working on high-profile brands, clients feel the impact of MAPE throughout their organizations every day. I could go on, but that timer there is winding down pretty fast. MAPE's effectiveness and longevity is truly a testament to this industry's active commitment to moving the diversity and inclusion needle in the right direction. It's humbling to receive this award, but a change agent's work is never done. As my boss, Singleton Beato, is fond of saying, it's a game of inches, and MAPE is so lucky to have so many dedicated partners to guide and support us as we push forward inch by inch. Thank you to all the participating agencies and holding companies, some here today like Deutsch, McCann, and Omnicom, who have supported MAPE through the years and continue to do so. To all the clients like J&J Macy's and Diageo who understand that a more diverse industry the more diverse our industry is, the better their businesses do. And to the MAPE alumni like R. Van Graves, Christina J. Powell, Derek Davis, and many you saw here and many who are all over the world, who continue to excel in their careers while constantly giving back to MAPE. Last but not least, to the 4 A's who have helped galvanize our industry around MAPE, and to the diversity and talent team, Singleton Piatto, Julius Dunn, Shannon Galvin, and Karen Kuth, who are all here today, who live and breathe MAPE's mission every day. By accepting this honor, we accept the challenge to keep pushing no matter the odds and conquer each inch along the way. Thank you so much for being here, and have a wonderful evening.
The supplier diversity category recognizes companies and organizations that have made a concerted effort to develop and implement programs to increase their partnerships with minority vendors.
During 2013, TBWA made a comprehensive effort to develop and implement programs to increase its partnerships and relationships with both women-owned and minority-owned businesses. It was part of the company's diversity and inclusion efforts across its network in the United States. Thanks to a steady strategy of executing mission and continual improvement in supplier diversity, much has been accomplished, including starting a department, building awareness internally, and speaking about the TBWA Diverse Vendor Partner Program on Fox Business. In 2013, the agency worked with 25 certified women-owned and minority-owned businesses. Take a look at the video.
In the spirit of collaboration, I wanted to share how we created our Diverse Vendor Partner Program at TBWA and the importance of empowering entrepreneurs. There are 14.4 million women and minority-owned businesses in the U.S., representing the 2 fastest growing segments of business today. That's a lot of businesses and a lot of potential customers. And it's very important that our ad agency's supply chain reflected that as well. Whether you are in PR, marketing, or advertising, the vendors are out there. No excuses. For us at TBWA, it was all about media arts. Production, music, distribution, animation, storyboarding. After we consulted with a few agencies in the Omnicom family, we identified 150 amazingly talented vendors. Now that we know the vendors, we needed to create a tool that encouraged creatives and producers across multiple offices to consider them. So we reached out to a design class at Columbia University, explained to them the background, and asked, what would you create? The class coded and created an interactive map that pulls the reels, copy, and contacts of each of the vendors on our list, and worked with our IT team to place it on our intranet. In their RFPs, clients typically request that 5% of your spend on their behalf goes towards these business segments. So at TBWA, we made that our goal as well, 5%. We worked with our finance department to help us track the 150 vendors whenever they were used so we could see their progress along the way throughout the year. Call your local WeBank and NMSDC offices and get involved. They need you and you need them. They have annual trade shows, they host regional galas, all to build better relationships between businesses. In our first full year, we surpassed our target of 5% and spent $19 million with women and minority entrepreneurs. If we can do it, you can do it too.
This year's winning organization proves that supplier diversity is more than just meeting a goal. It's about having a champion who goes above and beyond the numbers. The winner of the Supplier Diversity Award, TBWA, accepting the award, the Chief Diversity Officer for TBWA, Doug Melville.
Well, I've actually never won an award before, so this is super exciting for me. First of all, I'd like to thank Connie and Jim, everyone at the AAF, for having this award. I would also like to give extra special thanks to Carla Mayers from BBDO and Max Rutherford from GSD&M, who really helped bring me on board with learning and understanding the nuances of supplier diversity. So I accept this award on behalf of all the business owners who've ever had an idea to go out and start a company on their own, particularly in the field of creativity, and us as ad agencies that rely on their services to create the best media arts for our clients. Before joining TBWA, I was an entrepreneur, and either for myself or for other people for the better part of my career. And 2 years ago this month, TBWA brought me on board, and I had never held a diversity role formally, and I had never worked on supplier diversity. And in our first inaugural year, we were able to get to $19 million. So as champions of our organizations, it's our job to continue to let people know that there are amazing entrepreneurs and businesses out there that we should all be working with. 45% of every business in the United States is owned by either a female or diverse entrepreneur, and it's our responsibility to go out and take that extra mile to help create amazing messages for our clients. So I would like to thank everyone here for coming tonight, and thank everyone at TBWA executive team for creating the role of Chief Diversity Officer. And finally, I would like to thank, most importantly, the head of all of our North American offices in New York, Robert Harwood Matthews, in LA, Luis Deanda, and Media Arts Lab, because this is a great collective award that all three contributed and put their all towards to reach that number. Thank you very much.
Well, we'd like to congratulate all of the Mosaic winners. We'd like to thank all of our judges, and if we have any judges here, would you please stand so we can acknowledge your hard work? Now we're going to move on to the next portion of our program, the Diversity Achievement Awards. We'd like to thank District 2 for their vision in starting a diversity awards program some 20 years ago. We'd also like to encourage all of you to continue creating new paths that foster diversity and inclusion.
Which is a perfect way to introduce our next group of honorees. Here to present the Diversity Achievement Awards, the governor of oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. The governor of the AAF's District 2, Cynthia Park, and the Director of Publishing Development at the ASME and AAF Eastern Region Chair-elect, Nick Ferrari.
Thank you, Kendra and Connie. District 2 is thrilled to join the American Advertising Federation National in recognizing men and women devoted to inclusion and who champion a multicultural workplace.
Thanks to their efforts, our industry is finally getting it. Yes, it finally understands that inclusive practices bring new talent, providing clients, agencies, and media an endless source of new ideas. In a few brief moments, you'll understand what happens when talented people from an array of cultures put their heads together.
It is my honor and privilege to represent District 2, which represents New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. at this unique award ceremony, and congratulate all the recipients for the building great brands and careers that reach back to bring our industry forward. We want to first begin with acknowledging our corporate leader. And this award is actually presented to a leader who creates senior management commitment and implements successful organizational diversity programs for the company.
Without Michael Lescarbot, there would be a large vacuum where his company's diversity efforts should be. Mike's true passion, his belief of putting your money where your mouth is, and his dedication to Carmichael Lynch's diversity efforts are second to none. Mike's involvement with the Internal Diversity Committee, the Twin Cities Merge Committee, Women's Leadership Network, as well as each and every diversity event and seminar has been instrumental in empowering and invigorating the true meaning behind diversity. For him, it's not just a series of numeric goals, but a true belief in the reason behind diversity. All too often, Minnesota is viewed as a non-diverse environment. Mike has made it crystal clear this is not the case. Because of his guidance and dedication, Carmichael Lynch is able to help employees understand what diversity and inclusion can be, as well as convey that to their future employees. Let's have a look at the video clip.
I think the most important thing about diversity is really bringing a variety of people together, all with different perspectives and histories past.
Diversity means embracing those differences. So often, I think a lot of areas of concern all stem from fear. And when you've got that knowledge, that fear goes away.
It's becoming a lot harder to stand out as a brand today, and so it's becoming increasingly important to bring in sort of outside perspectives that could influence sort of the next great idea.
Adding something different, a different perspective in there, adding the views of someone who's walked a different walk, who doesn't think the same, can only enhance it.
The way that we approach diversity is really different than any place that I've been. It's really inherent in our DNA. It's created a great place for us to work in a great environment, and creative environment, and I think the work is better because of it, and the people are better because of it.
You can really see that it's genuine and heartfelt here. We're not just checking the box of having an initiative.
Senior leadership leads the charge in what's important to all the rest of the employees, and what's important should be at the forefront, and that's diversity.
They themselves get involved. It's not just something that they, wish for or suggest everyone do. They actually are there with us. They're involved in the conversations. They support it by being present.
Our diversity and inclusion efforts are the gasoline. Mike is the spark. He's the fire that ignites this.
That true belief, like he really believes in it. It's not just something that he knows he should do. He really believes in it.
You have to be someone who breathes it, who lives it, who is not afraid to talk about it, not afraid to challenge the status quo. Mike does all those things, and I think I can't think of anyone who's more deserving, to be honest.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 2014 Corporate Leader Award, the CEO of Carmichael Lynch, Michael Lascarba.
Wow, what an honor. What an honor to stand up here in front of so many people who give their time, their treasure, to the single most important cause in our business, the recognition of our colleagues as people of worth. Through many years as an advertising creative director, I have to say the fullness of that worth eluded me. I was in the creative department after all, Rich, right? We were the most important people in the company. Didn't that render all other employees less important by inference? Well, the shoe's on the other foot now, isn't it? As a CEO these past several years, I've seen firsthand that it's impossible to run a successful advertising agency without contributions from absolutely everyone, particularly those who bring something to the conversation that you do not and cannot. I've also been fortunate in these years to work for a holding company, Interpublic, that puts its money where its mouth is and makes caring about these issues a paying part of my job. For that, I'd like to thank Michael Roth, Frank Mergenthaler, and Philippe Krakowski. I'd also like to thank our CFO, Mark Ferenchek, who flew down here today. He doesn't fly a lot, but he came down because this means so much to him, and financing our efforts means so much to him. I'd be remiss if I did not thank Ms. Heida Gardner, Chief Diversity Officer at Interpublic. Heida, your support, yes, please. Your support and gentle prodding mean everything to us as we engage in our ambitious drive for real integration out there on the prairie. You've been known to show up for our Minneapolis events in February, and there can be no more sincere form of solidarity than that. I'd also be more than remiss if I failed to thank Ed Huerta Margada. As Director of Talent Acquisition at Carmichael Lynch, Ed could be expected to provide us with candidates from diverse backgrounds, and he does that in abundance, but his recruitment efforts are just the beginning. Suffice it to say, if I provide you with any more detail than that, I'll be giving away the contents of Ed's nomination for next year's Mosaic Awards. This lovely selfless man is why I'm up here today, and it really has changed my perspective to work with Ed. Thank you for coming down. At our agency, we've decided to make respecting each other a fundamental part of our culture. It matters to our clients, it matters to our prospects, and yes, it matters to our ownership. But what I hope was evident in that video is that it also matters to our people, every one of them. Because even as there's growing healthy debate about what exactly that word diversity means, there's absolutely no confusion about what inclusion means. People know when they're included, and they know when they're not. To the, District 2 of the American Advertising Federation, and all of you in this room, thank you for including me today. And on behalf of Carmichael Lynch, thank you, thank you, thank you for this deeply meaningful award.
The Industry Influential Award is presented to a leader and/or corporation instrumental in promoting career opportunities for minorities within a specific industry.
A coach, change agent, counselor. These are just a few of the hats Renetta McCann has worn during a career that has taken her from cubicle to C-suite. In an industry known for its lack of female top executives, Renetta has paved an impressive path that at one point saw her as one of the highest-ranking African-American women on the media scene. And in each step of her career, she has made it a priority to support young professionals coming up in the industry. Her dedication to pushing for and implementing diversity initiatives and best practices has helped to advance the conversation and creates change within the various companies she has been part of. And because of her significant contribution to both business success and the professional development of others, along the way she has received numerous recognitions, including AdColor Legend Award and the Trailblazer Award in Diversity Advocacy from the Chicago Mosaic Alumni and Friends Association. Please watch this video.
My 3 words for Renetta are fierce little lady, a thought leader, truly passionate,
unyielding, genuine, very genuine.
Truly an inspiration.
Renetta's a superstar.
3 words. Gangster, sweet, and absolutely amazing.
So it's an interesting combination with Renetta because the kind of the 3 words could be a little bit contradictory. So I would say a soft pit bull with heart. Because I'll tell you what, do not underestimate her. This lady is tough and on it. But at the same time, she has a deep soul and really cares about everybody around her.
My favorite Renetta moment was when I first met her. I had heard this name throughout the industry and everybody's like, oh, she's a star, she's a star. And so I went in there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to meet Renetta. And I go to the table and it's this little bitty lady. And I'm just like, this is you? And she just blew my mind from that very first day. And she was so sweet, so tender, and it's been great ever since, great relationship ever since. she seems as like that beacon of hope, for different individuals as a woman, as a minority, as a person just within the industry. She continues just to continue to give back and just provide her knowledge and her insight, and that's what, we really, really just can't take for granted.
She's truly an inspiration. She is someone that I look up to. She is someone that I strive to be, and she is someone that I believe is attainable. She is not a person that you see and you're like, oh, I can never get there in my career. You see Renetta and you're like, I can do this.
When I saw her in the hall, I had somebody to help me be accountable for the work that I'm doing, and also to inspire my work. A lot of my work is about community building and about reaching out to people, and Renetta embodies that.
She's real. It's a lot. It's hard to find people who have, come up through the ranks and done amazing things and still keep it real. There's no pretentiousness about her. There's no arrogance. Because every time we're in a room together, it's just a ball of laughter and fun.
Wake up, everybody. Wake up, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2014 Industry Influential Award goes to the CTO of Leo Burnett, Renetta McCann.
Actually feel a little lost without my step stool, but anyway, thank you. Good evening. Thank you, Cynthia and Nick, for that lovely introduction. I am truly honored to receive this award from the AAF. This recognition means a great deal to me. This award made me think of Arthur Ashe. He's one of my personal heroes, an exemplar of grace, strength, and commitment to excellence, and so much more. One of his many lessons is embodied in the following quote: "Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can." So as I stand before you tonight, I would like to think that I have contributed to creating diversity in our industry by following those very instructions. As a media trainee in 1978, I committed to staying in the industry until there were more people like me. With every new role or assignment, I renewed that goal, starting from wherever I found myself. Over time, I used my position, my voice, my ideas, and my connections. And I did what I could, building strategic cases for diversity and inclusion, sponsoring employee resource groups, mentoring, advising, hiring, and promoting people. And it's sometimes my way. I simply said what needed to be said, even at the risk of being unpopular or making others uncomfortable. Countless people deserve my thanks and gratitude. In particular, I am grateful for the support from every company I have ever worked for: Leo Burnett, SMG, and Publicis Group. I owe more than I can ever repay to the true industry legends who carved this path for me: Tom Burrell, Bill Sharp, Don Richards, Carol H. Williams, to name a few. I applaud the AAF for remaining tireless in pursuit of a more diverse and inclusive industry. I share the stage tonight with others who choose to do this work. I admire each and every one of you. I'd also like to thank Sandra, Tiffany, Singleton, and E.T. for getting me here. Last but never least, I'd like to thank my husband, Kevin, my kids, Ella and Alex, my mother, and my siblings for all of their love and support. Thank you.
The Trendsetter Award is presented to an individual who provides enhanced perception of diversity group persona and establishes new route to convey the same to the general public.
Ambition, passion, and altruism are in her veins. This is most evidenced by the fact that 2 of her biggest decisions have been made in the face of the most harrowing and challenging situations of her life. A few months after 9/11, she decided to start her own web development agency. Despite the fact that she was a 26-year-old female forcing her way into an older male-dominated field, during a time when New York City was full of despair and doubt, her ambition was too strong to waver at the sight of uncertainty. As the success of Squeaky Wheel Media proves, her passion and ambition persevered. At 33, she was handed a devastating cancer diagnosis. She took charge of her health, made sure that she had a say in all of the decisions that were affecting her body, and ultimately beat cancer in a matter of months. She is a woman who knows how to channel her altruism and find beauty even in ugly experiences. That's why her ideas are passionate and life-changing. Watch this video.
I got a call from my doctor at about 7 o'clock in the morning and said, "Did you get the results?" And I said, what results? He said, "You mean your doctor hasn't called you?" And I said, "No." And then he said, "Well, it's positive." My aunt passed away, and I kept telling her, "Thea, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be visiting you anytime soon."
It's been said that there's no easy-to-use, well-designed social resource out there for people who are suffering from cancer and who have survived cancer. But there is one woman who decided to do something about that.
I didn't find options when I was diagnosed to connect with people with similar diagnoses that I can speak with and connect with to find out what it was like to deal with it.
She launched a social networking site called IHadCancer.com, a Facebook for cancer patients.
Our Webby winner in the category of community is I Had Cancer.
If you can get through this, oh my God, nothing else is going to be able to compare. So you can get through anything else. And that's what I did.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2014 Trendsetter Award goes to the founder, IHadCancer.com/Squeaky Wheel Media, Milette Lopez.
Hi, everyone. I'd like to start off by thanking the American Advertising Federation for having us here tonight and awarding me with the Diversity Achievement Trendsetter Award. It's such an honor to be in the same room with such amazing talent and to share this award with all of tonight's worthy recipients. I know that this award could have gone to any one of you, as you're all trendsetters in your own way, but this one's coming back to New York City with me. I accept this award on behalf of all of the members of IHadCancer.com, as well as my agency, Squeaky, but I also accept it on behalf of and in honor of my parents. They were my trendsetters. They had the courage to leave everything behind to start a new life in the United States. They instilled in me the value of hard work, determination throughout my entire life. Now, 35 years later, I'm in front of you, just a few miles away from where the Ocean Clipper first docked. I celebrated my 5th birthday in an internment camp at the Orange Bowl, and today I'm at the Boca Raton Resort. Huepa! In many ways, this award is a manifestation of so much faith. The faith of my parents, faith in myself, and the trust of my business partner, Anthony Del Monte. We spoke about creating an agency that was focused on solid work, strong culture, and one that was as truly diverse as our country. And we asked ourselves, why not us? Every day at Squeaky, we continue to ask, why not us? That question led us to the launch of I Had Cancer, and so much more. Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world. To that, we should all ask ourselves here tonight, why not us? Thank you.
The Role Model Award is presented to an individual demonstrating a high degree of success in his or her career and motivating others to do the same.
Fernando Espejal has made a large impact on both colleagues and clients since joining FCB in 2012. His focus, drive, and enthusiasm transcends his day-to-day projects to create a larger cultural impact on the agency. He is a true role model, leading by example and providing encouragement and guidance to those who work with him. A collaborative leader, Fernando is always willing to leverage his expertise on behalf of his colleagues, clients, and industry. Fernando brings a strong background in mobile to his role and does not hesitate to share his unique expertise. His leadership in this arena has expanded business with clients and helped them reach their own business goals through specific mobile work. He challenges his teammates to push the envelope on projects and looks past the norm, and he continues to work to better himself and encourages those around him to do the same. Let's watch the video clip.
Fernando is his name, and digital platforms are his game. Roaming through the halls, his meteoric rise to fame. A true tyrant of the Twitter, savvy on Instagram. With a vast well of knowledge, he can master any brand. Fernando is his name, and he's earned wide acclaim. Award-winning apps, mobile phones will never be the same. He's a mentor, he's a leader, who will always tell the truth. He even volunteers his time to help Latino youth. Fernando is his name, and if I had to give him blame, he's been known to throw an elbow at a basketball game. But he's still a man of legend, he's almost like a myth. Fernando is a role model you can roll with. Nando.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2014 Role Model Award recipient, Vice President, Director of Digital Platforms at FCB, Fernando Nando Espejal.
That was actually the first time I saw that video, and it was amazing. FCB Chicago rules. I would first like to thank the American Advertising Federation for presenting me with this award, which is an immense honor, especially considering the other winners. I mean, I have to follow up. That's kind of tough. Secondly, I would like to thank my employer, FCB Chicago, which oddly enough is my first advertising agency. And I've been there for 2.5 years, but it's by far the best company I've ever worked for. The reason FCB Chicago thought it'd be a good idea to nominate me for this award is due to a casual conversation I had with a coworker who happens to be here about my volunteering efforts with a charter high school on the southwest side of Chicago, the part of the city that everyone now refers to as Chirac. And while I'm a product of this area, the current culture is completely foreign to me. The fact is, having been born and raised there, my voice tends to resonate a little louder with its youth than those who are seen as outsiders. I would love to stand here and say that I've saved X amount of lives or helped a ton of kids leave their gang, but I'd be lying. In fact, the majority of my time, my biggest contribution is simply listening, as most of the kids who I mentor don't have anyone ask the simple questions of, how are you doing, how was your day? Once a conversation is started, I offer simple commentary, which is by no means cold hard facts, but simply my opinion, and we take it from there. Some days it's something as easy as pointing them in the right direction to obtain a driver's license, while other days it's a heart-to-heart conversation of why they shouldn't try to rob the local drug dealer. When I hear the term role model, I don't think of a superhero with a cape giving instructions on how to live life. I think more of my parents, who use their collective experience to provide me with guidance whenever I asked for it, and even at times when I didn't. I think of my current manager, who's also here, who never gives me instructions on how to do something, but kind of offers thoughts, opinions, and ideas in a very humorous way that always lead me to a conclusion. In the end, this is what I believe I bring to those who do see me as a role model, someone who doesn't judge or dictate, but instead offers a different point of view that hopefully they find beneficial. Thank you.
The Educator Award is presented to an individual or company who has increased awareness of the aspirations, obstacles, and the performance of minority groups among the general public.
When you think of Doug Melville, education, excitement, empowerment, and an entertaining delivery come to mind. His style of edutainment, yes, it's edutainment, is contagious, inspiring, and insightful, and helps his message get across in a way that's memorable, always providing relevant takeaways. Success hinges on being able to educate all parties about the importance of diversity and inclusion, giving voice to the aspirations, obstacles, and opportunities of traditionally underrepresented minority groups to the general population was key, and Doug was more than up to the challenge. He's worked extensively with universities including Harvard, Columbia, Syracuse, and St. John's to educate them about the topic. He is open to other Omnicom agencies and glad to show them how to start or tweak diversity and inclusion programs. And he starts with the executive and new business teams to be certain the agency's diversity and inclusion stance is represented. Let's watch the video clip.
Doug was actually my introduction to the advertising industry. He introduced me to what I now call my community, my industry.
He came by the office. I was very impressed with his beautiful presentation. He thinks out of the box, he thinks creatively, he sees opportunities where others might not.
I think one of the things that most strikes me about Doug is that he's a connector. So he's really passionate about diversity issues, and he has this unique ability to bring people together from a wide variety of disciplines to encourage dialogue and to really bring new perspectives on diversity issues.
We educate people in diversity in thought, diversity in your company, in your brand. It just makes everything that much better.
Doug has become an integral part of the St. John's educational experience.
We had the opportunity to work together hand in hand on a diversity and inclusion project. That later semester, I became his intern.
It's really been great to me. I think also just continuing to challenge me and letting me know that the world is even much bigger than, where we are today.
From the very first moment I met him, I realized that he was one of the people in the diversity space that was 100% sincere. This is a man who will deliver, and he was 100% authentic in what he was trying to do.
Doug's an advocate. He's a listener. He's a teacher. He's a friend. Chief among the many roles that Doug Melville plays, I would say educator is the one that shines the most.
Doug, on behalf of myself and the Omnicom Media Group family, we'd like to congratulate you on this award.
I want to say congratulations on behalf of all the interns that have had the pleasure of working under you.
On behalf of myself and St. John's, I want to wish you congratulations on this award.
Thank you very much for being a great mentor and friend.
You are the most awesome educator in the diversity space that I know.
Doug Melville for president.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Don't make this a habit. We're spoiling you, and don't get a big head. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's Educator Award goes to the Chief Diversity Officer, TVWA, Doug Melville.
Well, I am truly humbled to stand here in front of you all tonight and accept this award for AAF Educator. I'd never won one award, well enough two, so thank the AAF for that. My first 2 awards, thank you. I'd like to thank my mom and dad for being here, who traveled a far distance. They were my true educators. My mom was a 4th grade teacher, and my dad was a judge. And my mom was always really playful, and my dad was super serious. And, you know, you have to draw the line somewhere, and my dad would always, you know, shut it down. He really didn't like the jokes and the fun. But they taught me everything I know, though. And I grew up in a multiracial family, so you always have a unique perspective on issues that affect race and acceptance. You become very keen on social details, how people perceive you, how people communicate with you, and how people act around you. So almost by default, you become a catalyst to help educate people and open their minds and be very warm and entertaining when you meet them. So I've made it my personal mission to help wherever I can, to answer a question, go the extra mile, contribute to someone's success, particularly if they're the one person that feels left out, as many people have done the same for me. In a time where information is everywhere, helping people translate that information into something that they can turn into success is really what it's all about. In some sense, I want everyone to experience and continue to teach continual learning, because the students, I learn a lot from them. They know so much more about different things than I do, and I can teach them, so it's a great relationship. And the years I worked for Magic Johnson, he used to always have a saying that he said to me, team. Before we went to every meeting, he would say, team. Together, everybody achieves more. And I think the mission of tonight's program is really to say, if we all work together, go the extra mile, shake an extra hand, give someone an extra bit of advice, success will come of it. And I'd like to give a special thanks to Tiffany R. Warren for nominating me for this award this evening. And also to Carmen Marston, who's the head of talent for Zimmerman. She was, when I worked down here at the Zimmerman agency, she encouraged me to go with Jordan on his Zimmerman advertising program, Zap School tours. And I met Christina Pyle, who was in the video, who now works with the Ag Color organization after all these years. So it's just kind of like a little bit of This Is Your Life in the room. And also I'd like to thank Mary Natolo. She's an amazing woman-owned vendor, and she created the videos for us and has been a great person in the MBE space to become friends with, and we've really learned a lot from each other. So thank you very much.
Our final award of the evening is for Diversity Pioneer. By definition, a pioneer is one who is among the first to explore or settle a new country or area. A diversity pioneer, therefore, is among the first to explore the advertising landscape and establish programs to correct the lack of diversity and inclusion. someone who moved boldly to open the industry to diverse groups and who did it despite criticism and opposition, and used his position, ideas, savvy, and sass to get things done.
Maurice Levy is widely recognized as one of the leading figures in the communications industry. He joined Publicis in 1971 in charge of IT and quickly moved into the heart of the agency's business. In 1975, he was appointed president of the Publicis Council. I was going to do my fake French accent, but I will abstain. And took personal responsibility for the international development of Publicis from the early 1980s, piloting a series of important acquisitions, as well as the group's pioneering strategic focus on digital. In January of 2008, Levy was bestowed the International Leadership Award in 2008 for the Anti-Defamation League in recognition of his stance towards tolerance and diversity. He also financed the concert at Trocadero, that's another accent word there, to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the founding of the State of Israel.
I'm very pleased, I'm very happy. In case you don't know, I'm French, so bonjour.
Ensuring the growth of Publicis has always been Maurice Levy's highest priority. Kevin Roberts, CEO of Saatchi & Saatchi, claimed that Maurice Levy is French when in France, Spanish when in Spain, and American when he's in the United States. Thanks to his values and strong commitment to Publicis and anything which embodies la différence, he displays a constant respect for humankind.
I'm sorry to say I didn't know.
This forward-thinking attitude is the result of a passion since 1971, when he joined Publicis. He became the IT director and didn't yet know that one day he would become the successor of the Lion, Marcel Bluestein-Blanchet's nickname, who founded the agency in 1926 with great ambitions. A spectacular event, combined with his strong work ethic, made him win the unlimited confidence of his mentor, Marcel Bluestein-Blanchet. 1972, Publicis went up in flames. Maurice Levy was able to save the archives stocked on magnetic bands. Publicis was reborn. Maurice Levy becomes the Secretary General in 1973. This was the beginning of an era of legendary successes. In the early 2000s, Publicis was growing fast across the world. After the acquisition of Saatchi & Saatchi, Publicis Group surprised everyone in 2002 by announcing the acquisition of the American group BCom3, which controlled agencies such as Leo Burnett, Darcy, Starcom MediaVest, Macias, Medicus. Publicis Group became the fourth leading communications group in the world. A true visionary, in 2006, Maurice Levy already knew that the future of global communication would be focused on digital. In 2007, Digitas, the largest interactive agency in the world, was acquired, and Publicis Group inaugurated the Human Digital Agency. Publicis Group launched Vivaki and acquired Razorfish, Rosetta, and LBI International, all the while collaborating with the main players of the web. Publicis Group climbed to the third place in terms of world ranking for advertising. Digital activities represents 40% of the group's revenue. July 2013, Publicis Group and Omnicom Group announced a project of a merger of equals. May 2014, in view of difficulties, they terminated this project by mutual agreement.
Hello, innocent.
Being a tireless globetrotter, Maurice Levy is active in many fields. At the World Economic Forum in Davos, he participates in important debates with world-class leaders. He supports the group's agencies involved with numerous NGOs in order to help them promote general interest causes with pro bono campaigns. He is passionate and has an endless source of contagious energy, curious about the world's different cultures, but also about its global challenges, such as those for equality and the right to be different. He acquired the Women's Forum because he understands that it's time to work towards more diversity, regardless of the fact that the group was one of the first to have as many men as women on its board, also chaired by a woman, Elizabeth Badinter, philosopher and daughter of the founder. He supports the creation of Viva Women, the internal women's network within the group, as well as the Égalité Network, which brings together employees and allies concerned with LGBT issues. He also encourages internal initiatives in favor of diversity. The goal is to facilitate employees' integration and inclusion, which constitute the true value of the group. Marcel Bluestein-Blanchet used to say, "Love life and life will love you back." Maurice Lévy's favorite words are, "Only the future matters."
You have done it with your heart, your passion. Please just continue like this. Thank you.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, accepting the 2014 Diversity Pioneer Award from Maurice Lévy, our very own Rich Stoddard.
So Maurice couldn't be here, but he was thrilled by this award, and he asked me to accept it on his behalf. So I need a little help with your imagination. I want you to imagine I'm 6 inches taller, I have a French accent, and I'm incredibly charming. That may be difficult, but that's what I need from you. So these are the remarks that Maurice asked me to share with you. Mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, that's the only French I'll speak. Maurice is thrilled with this recognition and has asked me to accept on his behalf and to share with you the following remarks from him. I'm extremely honored to receive this major award from the AAF. That is to say, from our profession here in the USA, where we have more teams than anywhere else in the world. While this recognition means a lot for me as a citizen of the world, for Publicis Group, it is a great recognition of what sets us apart, as evidenced in our signature, Vive la Différence. Our values might appear simple, but are really powerful. Honesty, integrity, our respect for others, our employees, our clients, their brands, the consumers, and our partners. We have very strong ethics that some might find a bit traditional or old-fashioned, such as being as good as our word, or a handshake being more binding than any contract. But it is these same ethics and values that set us apart from others. Yes, we take pride in these so-called outdated values, but they are the foundations of a human community, of our vision of the world in which we operate, a vision in which there is no place for cynicism. Our vision of humankind compels us to be demanding in everything that we do, and even about the way that we do things. Admittedly, these demands sometimes require us to take difficult decisions, but that's the price you have to pay to be in harmony with yourself and your community of men and women. Vive la Différence does not tolerate indifference to others or their future, or which we are much the custodians of as the promoters. La Différence and the respect for others' people's difference is a part of the Publicis Group DNA, an intangible asset from the outset. Our group's strength and capital is human first and foremost, and is derived from the men and women who work with us, all 60,000 of them around the world. Each and every one of our employees is unique by definition, by virtue of their past, their culture, their origins, their career paths, their experience, their talent, and their potential. In our teams, diversity is both self-evident and a necessity. But facts and figures sometimes tell us that real life is more complex. And so we must all be watchful to ensure that everyone feels happy in our agencies, fully integrated, and plays an active part in the Publicis Group. We must also be careful to ensure that diversity prevails at all levels of our organization, and we're working towards that goal. Our board of directors is chaired by a woman, Elizabeth Badinter, a philosopher and daughter of our founder, Marcel Bluestein-Blanchet, and has been composed of 7 men and 7 women for years now. Our board ensures we stay attuned to these issues. Diversity of talent is a source of opportunities that benefit everyone, the individuals themselves, our agencies, and most importantly, our clients. When we set up our Group Diversity Council in the USA in 2008, the goal was not only to share best practices, but more importantly, to work alongside several of our agencies to upgrade the diversity of our hiring. We must pursue our endeavors, thus benefiting from that great asset, which is the experience of our more senior people who inspire our youngest teams. In recent years, the group has seen numerous initiatives emerge in favor of diversity. For instance, our women's network called Viva Women. Actually, it's open to men too. Egalite, our LGBT network, not overlooking a series of other networks for our employees, African American, Hispanic, or Asian in origin. And I apologize for some of these acronyms: MOCA, Link, Adelante, OLA, Pan-Asian, and MERG. The very much bottom-up groups are very useful in-house catalysts while spurring us on to greater things. Our company needs great diversity and real inclusion of all of our talents. Our clients as well expect of us, the staff, be a reflection of the society in all its plurality and diversity. So thanks to these numerous sensitivities which form the cohesiveness of our company and our ability to live together day after day, we can only improve. I accept this award on behalf of our community of diverse and talented people who strive every single day to make Vive la Différence a powerful proposition for us and for our clients. With heartfelt thanks, Maurice Levy. Thank you.
Please give all of our Diversity Achievement and Mosaic Award winners another round of applause. This has been an inspiring evening that hopefully motivates our industry to continue and to expand the work for diversity and inclusion.
I have been delighted to share this podium with a former recipient of a diversity award, Cynthia Park. Thank you, Cynthia. I'd be remiss if I didn't extend thank yous to the AAF staff for putting on this fantastic program. Thank you, AAF, and thank you to all of its staff. And with that said, I'd also like to make special thank yous to two individuals who have sustained this program for 20 years. I think back 20 years ago in working with Pat Martin and Leslie Winthrop, who really exercised the understanding of diversity and inclusion. Thank you both. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you also for attending. This was a wonderful experience, and it's my pleasure to bring back Jim Daytree to the stage for any announcements and his closing remarks. Thank you very much.
Okay, congratulations to all our amazing winners. Thank you so much, Nick and Cynthia. Thank you, Connie and Kendra. And thank you all for coming to our inaugural Mosaic and Diversity Achievement Awards at Admerica, the first of many. And please now join us for a celebratory dinner. Thank you so much.